Hello and welcome back to Teens Voice Your Own platform.
Hope fatigue is not weakness. It is not apathy. It is not the absence of care. It is the wound left behind by caring too much for too long without a break. For the modern teen, growing up between 2026 and 2030 means being born into a world that never stops screaming. From the moment you unlock your phone, the algorithm feeds you a fire hose of catastrophe, climate collapse, political violence, economic precarity, AI stealing your future career, pandemics mutating in the background, wars streaming in 4,000 resolution directly to your TikTok feed. And what are you supposed to do with all of that? You are expected to care, to share, to repost, to sign petitions, to cry for 30 seconds and then watch an ad. But nobody tells you that your nervous system was never designed to process global tragedy before breakfast. Hope fatigue is the slow, silent erosion of your inner fire, not because you stopped believing things could get better, but because every time you allowed yourself to hope, the world handed you another headline that proved you were naive. Here is the cruel trick of the attention economy: bad news sells, and good news bores. Algorithms are not programmed to make you feel hopeful. They are programmed to keep you scared, angry, or sad, because those emotions keep you scrolling. So you wake up to a notification about a school shooting 4 states away. You scroll past a video of a burned forest. You see a politician promising to erase your identity. You watch a live stream of a disaster unfolding in real time. And by lunchtime, you have absorbed more suffering than a medieval peasant experienced in a lifetime. But there is no catharsis. There is no resolution. There is only the next notification, and the next, and the next. Your brain, overloaded with cortisol and adrenaline, eventually does the only thing it can to survive: it numbs. You stop crying at the news. You stop feeling your heartbeat spike. You swipe past a famine like it's a meme. And then you hate yourself for not caring enough. That self-hatred is the core of hope fatigue, the terrible paradox of wanting to save the world while simultaneously feeling that the world has already burned beyond saving. For teens, hope fatigue is uniquely devastating because you are supposed to be the future. Adults look at you and say, "You will fix this," but you were not given the tools. You were given a smartphone and an endless feed of despair. You are expected to organize protests, lead climate strikes, become activists before you can drive a car, all while maintaining a 4.0 GPA, building a personal brand, and pretending that your own mental health isn't crumbling. And when you finally admit that you are tired, that you cannot watch one more genocide unfold in real time, that you cannot fact-check another conspiracy theory, that you cannot carry the weight of a collapsing planet on your 16-year-old shoulders, someone will call you lazy. Someone will say you are doom scrolling instead of taking action. Someone will imply that your exhaustion is a moral failure. But it is not. Hope fatigue is the natural response to an unnatural information environment. You were never meant to witness this much suffering without a community, without a break, without the safety of ignorance. And here is the most painful part: hope itself has been weaponized against you. Toxic positivity tells you to look on the bright side while the bright side keeps catching fire. Performative activism demands that you never rest, never doubt, never log off, because every moment of silence is betrayal. Meanwhile, real systemic problems remain untouched. You can recycle every bottle, sign every petition, attend every march, and the bad news will still come. Because the bad news is not your fault. The bad news is the result of systems built by people who profit from crisis. And no amount of individual hope will dismantle those systems by Thursday. So you collapse. Not because you are weak, but because you have been running a marathon with no finish line, carrying a weight that was never yours alone to carry. But let me say this clearly: hope fatigue is not the end. It is a signal. It is your body and mind telling you that the current way of engaging with the world is unsustainable. You do not need to watch every tragedy. You do not need to carry every grief. You are allowed to turn off the notifications. You are allowed to focus on what is within your reach: your friends, your classroom, your local park, your own bedroom. Real hope is not the breathless optimism of a social media influencer. Real hope is quiet, stubborn, and local. It is choosing to water a plant when the forest is burning. It is showing up for one person instead of screaming into the void for thousands. It is admitting that you are tired, and then resting, without guilt. Because rest is not surrender, rest is how you survive to fight another day. So if you feel hope fatigue right now, hear this: you are not broken. You are not a bad activist. You are not a disappointment. You are a human being with a limited capacity for suffering, and you have exceeded that capacity because the world asked too much of you too soon. Take back your attention. Guard your peace like it is the last glass of water in a drought. Let the algorithm scream into the dark without you for a while, because the only way out of hope fatigue is not more hope, it is more boundaries. And that, teen, is the most radical thing you can do in a world that profits from your exhaustion. Choose to survive, choose to rest, and choose to care again only when you are strong enough to do so without breaking. Please like, share and subscribe the Teen's Voice channel to solve your real issues.